Welcome to our channel. Starting part 2 of What If Cha Hae-In Awakened as a Monarch First. With a richly detailed Chapter 1 that expands on the escalating cosmic threats, new alliances, political challenges, and breathtaking battles ahead. Chapter 1. The Cosmic Tides. The world, fragile and war-weary, held its breath beneath a vault of deepening twilight. Though the frozen citadel gleamed like a pearl of ice amidst the darkness, Cha Hae-In could feel the shifting currents of fate tugging at the very threads of reality. The coronation had been a symbol of hope, yet it had also heralded a new era, one rife with cosmic dangers unseen by any hunter or monarch before. In the halls of the frozen citadel, every stone seemed to absorb the aura of impending conflict. The air hummed with tension as couriers brought fragmented reports from across distant realms. Gate systems in neighboring territories were destabilizing, cosmic storms battered the mana lattice that connected worlds. Ancient monarchs, long vanished in myth and silence, were stirring, their intentions veiled in shadows darker than night. Around the obsidian council table, advisors and hunters spoke in grave tones. Maps flickered with glowing nodes, showing surges of energy and rifts that pulsed with ominous light. Each new report bore the same chilling message: the fabric of the cosmos was thinning. Commander Park Ji-hoon slammed the table with a fist. If the nexus fractures completely, a cataclysm could swallow all mortal realms. Our enemies, both monster and monarch, were exploiting these cracks. We cannot stand divided. Guildmaster Yoon Tae-myung nodded solemnly. It is no longer just a fight for survival, it is a war for existence itself. Into the chamber strode Sung Jin-woo, his dark eyes sharp as he unfurled a map showing the outer frontier. Gate anomalies are increasing exponentially, he explained. Creatures not just from monster realms, but twisted cosmic entities are spreading. The shadows and monsters are merging, warping reality around them. These are signs of deeper corruption. Cha Hae-In met his gaze, the weight of her new title settling more heavily than ever. Her hands clenched into tight fists, her breath slow, her icy blue eyes glowing faintly beneath the blessing of the frost crown. The monarch power is no longer a secret, she said, the voice steady and resolute. We have become a beacon, a target of those desiring control, those who seek to unbalance the world for their gain. Her mind wandered briefly to the visions that had haunted her since the coronation, vistas of swirling galaxies collapsing and reborn, of shadowy monarchs watching patiently through cosmic veils, and the haunting echo of icy footsteps drawing ever closer. In a rare moment of quiet, she approached Jin-woo, the late shadow monarch, her longtime ally and occasional rival. We stand at a threshold, she whispered. The balance we fought so hard to maintain threatens to unravel. We must seek unity among hunters and monarchs alike, or the tides of destruction will consume everything we hold dear. He nodded with grave understanding. There's strength in shadows and ice alike, but even that may not be enough if the cosmos itself turns against us. The council convened late into the night, planning new defenses, scouting missions beyond known realms, and diplomatic envoys to reach fledgling monarchs in distant lands. Trust was fragile, alliances tentative. As the meeting adjourned, Cha Hae-In gazed out from the citadel's highest tower, a vast panorama of silvered mountains and swirling storms below. The stars above flickered ominously, unseen by most but felt by all bound to the monarch's power. The Frost Monarch's internal voice echoed with both promise and warning. The cosmic tides rise, and we must be the anchors in this storm. The chapter closes with the first distant rumble of cosmic war, a sound that would ripple through realms and herald an epic saga of courage, sacrifice, and unity. Chapter 2. Fractured Alliances. The tension within the Frost Citadel was palpable as news of the cosmic tides spread like wildfire. Cha Hae-In understood that survival relied not only on power but also on forming alliances, fragile agreements among factions with competing interests and ancient grudges. The council convened under urgent circumstances, its members a mingling of monarch emissaries, hunter guild leaders, and diplomatic envoys. The air buzzed with whispered debates, sharp glances, and veiled threats. Among those assembled was Lady Sariel, monarch of the Verdant Realm, a leader whose mystical connection to nature contrasted sharply with the icy determinism of Cha Hae-In. Sariel's serene demeanor barely masked a fierce political ambition and a history of distrust towards Frost monarchs. Across the table sat Monarch Alaric of the Ember Dominion, a fiery and brash commander, resenting both Frost and Shadow monarchs alike for alliances formed without his favor. His eyes burned with defiance as he spoke of impending war, mistrust thickening the atmosphere. Cha Hae-In met their gazes with a calm but resolute gaze. We face a threat greater than any one realm, cosmic forces unraveling the balance of all. We must put aside our past and rise united. Sariel's voice was soft but firm. Unity is difficult among monarchs whose realms are so different. But perhaps the growing storm will forge something stronger. Alaric scoffed. All talk. When the flames come, words do not burn enemies. Jin Wu, ever the mediator, stepped forward. The shadows will aid those who prove worthy, not as masters or slaves, but as partners. The negotiations stretched deep into the night. Compromises were made, trust extended yet cautious. Envoys were dispatched to distant realms, scouts sent through unstable gates to gather intelligence on cosmic disturbances. Meanwhile, Cha Hae-In took moments away from the council chambers, walking the frost-lined battlements where memories and resolve intertwined. She remembered the sacrifices of her journey, the battles won and lost, the bonds forged and broken. Her thoughts drifted toward the coming storm, knowing that political alliances were as precarious as frozen ice, beautiful but fragile. As dawn crept over the horizon, a messenger arrived bearing news of a shattered gate, falling into darkness, spewing new monsters twisted by cosmic energy. The fragile alliances were already tested, not by words, but by war. The Frost Monarch readied herself, not just for battlefield clashes but for the complex dance of diplomacy, betrayal, and loyalty that would define this new age of monarchs. Chapter 3. Beyond the Veil. The thin veil between known realms and the unknown beyond had weakened, becoming a fragile membrane through which cosmic horrors and mysteries leaked into mortal existence. The frozen citadel buzzed with activity as Cha Hae-In prepared to send an elite scout expedition through these unstable gates to uncover the source of the growing cosmic perturbations. The assembled team, handpicked by the monarch herself, was a blend of experienced hunters, monarch envoys, and shadow operatives. At the forefront was Commander Park Ji-hoon, a steady strategist and loyal ally, and the enigmatic Alara, whose knowledge of cosmic lore and monarch relics was unparalleled. Cha Hae-In addressed the group in the war room, a chamber etched with frost runes and filled with glowing maps tracking gate anomalies. Her voice was firm but filled with unspoken emotion, the weight of a leader keenly felt. Beyond these gates lie unknown dangers and answers. Every step you take shapes the fate of our world, and worlds beyond. Trust in each other, and in the power we wield. They departed amid a haze of blue light, the gate's shimmering surface rippling like distorted glass. As they crossed, reality bent and folded, a stunning array of galaxies, nebulae, and fractured stars stretched before their eyes. Space felt less like a void and more like memory, the memories of a universe alive and aware. The expedition's first steps beyond the veil revealed haunting landscapes, vast deserts of cosmic crystal, forests where planets floated among branches, and rivers flowing with starlight itself. It was beauty laced with danger. Ethereal creatures drifted in and out of sight, watching silently. Yet danger struck swiftly. Gate guardians, massive, celestial beasts bound to defend the cosmic lattice, attacked with blinding speed and strength. The team sprang into battle, their techniques a harmonious blend of mortal skill and monarch grace. Cha Hae-In's frost energy echoed in their ranks, freezing weapons mid-air, protecting with ice shields, and manipulating the environment to their advantage. Alara's relics shimmered with ancient power, unraveling the Guardians' celestial defenses. Jin Woo's shadow operatives flanked enemies, striking unseen and precise. In the heart of this cosmic realm lay an ancient observatory, a place rumored to hold the secrets of cosmic monarch cycles and portals. The exploration team searched its shattered halls beneath stars that no mortal had ever named. Within the observatory, psychic echoes whispered warnings, visions of a coming reckoning, of monarchs who fell to hubris, of galaxies torn asunder by greed and war. The team uncovered relics that suggested cosmic monarchs had once tried to control the tides of power but were destroyed by the very forces they sought to master. As they dug deeper, a portal burst open, unleashing a rift of chaotic energy spilling monstrous entities warped by cosmic corruption. The team engaged in another fierce battle, each hunter's strength and strategy tested amidst the swirling chaos. Commander Ji-hoon was gravely injured saving an ally. Alara unleashed a relic-fueled tempest, while Cha Hae-in's concentrated frosts pushed their foes back inch by inch. It was a dire fight with victory only in the final moments. Returning to the frozen citadel, the team brought back not only physical scars but knowledge, ancient warnings, cosmic histories, and a fragment of a shattered monarch crystal that pulsed with dark energy. The revelations were sobering. The cosmic tides were not merely natural phenomena, they were the ripple effects of monarch ambitions and unknown cosmic entities awakening. The chapter closes with Cha Hae-in pondering these disturbing truths, resolved to prepare her empire and allies for battles far beyond the gates, and her responsibilities growing heavier with every revelation. Chapter 4. New Sovereigns, Rising Shadows. The return of the scout expedition breathed new urgency into the halls of the frozen citadel. The revelations from beyond the veil rippled through monarch and hunter circles alike, sparking alarm and uneasy anticipation. New monarchs, drawn by the cosmic disturbances, began emerging across realms, some seeking peace and alliance, others heralding chaos and conquest. Among them was Queen Thalira of the Obsidian Spires, a monarch of shadow and secrets, whose cryptic arrival both intrigued and unsettled Cha Hae-in. Quiet yet commanding, Thalira carried an air of hidden depths and dangerous ambition. At the same time, Monarch Kelin of the Azure dynasty arrived from distant seas, wielding powers of water and storm, advocating for unity against common cosmic foes but shadowed by his own mysterious past. The Frost Monarchs Council expanded, each monarch's arrival shifting political balances with whispered threats, tentative truces, and fragile trust. Tension stretched the citadel's walls as factions jockeyed for influence. Diplomatic meetings unfolded in rooms woven with ancient runes, the air thick with strategies and old grudges. Cha Hae-in stood at the center, balancing diplomacy, preparing for inevitable conflict, and striving to unite fractured realms under a banner of survival. Amidst this, shadow forces grew bolder. Thalira discreetly met with enigmatic figures in the citadel's hidden corridors. Whispers spoke of monarchs seeking forbidden power, alliances with cosmic entities beyond mortal comprehension. Meanwhile, a mysterious cult called the Starbound Dawn surfaced, worshippers of cosmic voids and creation's destruction, undermining hunter order with subversion, sabotage, and spreading fear. The chapter unfolded through vivid scenes of council debates, covert meetings in frost-laden halls, and skirmishes between hunter patrols and the cult's fanatics. Dialogue crackled with intrigue. Kelin. The storm gathers, those who do not sail with it will be drowned. Thalira. Power belongs to those who seize it, not those who seek to appease. Hae-in. Hope rests not in shadows or storms alone, but in unity. In a dramatic climax, the cult detonated an ancient relic in a market, unleashing chaotic energy and monstrous spawn. Hunters scrambled, chaos reigned, but under Cha Hae-in's command, the attack was quelled with precision frost strikes and shadow blades, yet the enemy's reach and cunning were clear. As quiet returned briefly, Cha Hae-in faced Jin Woo on the citadel's ramparts. The cosmic tides are no longer distant, a tsunami is breaking. We must be ready, to fight and to lead. With icy determination, she nodded, ready to meet the rising shadows with strength unyielding. Chapter 5. Veil of Secrets. Following the uprising of the starbound Dawn cult, the frozen citadel buzzed with unease beneath its icy spires. Cha Hae-In knew their victory was but a brief respite. The cult's shadows still whispered through the city's veins, gathering strength and secrets. A covert investigation began, led by Cha Hae-In's closest confidants, including Park Ji-hoon, Jin Woo, and the enigmatic envoy Alara. Their mission: to unravel the cult's networks, uncover their cosmic patrons, and dismantle their influence before a devastating strike could be unleashed. The chapter unfolds through shadowy alleys, hidden chambers beneath the citadel, and silent meetings with informants whose loyalty teetered on fear and bribery. The intricate web of deception was revealed, exposing traitors within the guilds and unexpected alliances with rogue monarchs and cosmic entities. Tension mounted as Cha Hae-In grappled with personal doubts, haunted by flashbacks of past betrayals and the ever-present loneliness carved by her icy mantle. Dialogues with Jin Woo provided both solace and contrast, his shadowed pragmatism countering her hopeful resolve. The climactic skirmish erupts in the frozen woods outside the city, where a cult stronghold has been unearthed. Frost and shadows collide in a symphony of light and dark. Cha Hae-In wields her powers with devastating grace, freezing monsters mid-flight while Jin Woo manipulates shadows to flank enemies and disrupt their ranks. Every action is calculated: healings, resistances, tactical retreats, and brutal assaults. The fight pulses through forests ablaze with disturbed mana, culminating in a fierce duel between Hae-In and the cult's leader, a twisted monk channeling dark cosmic energies. Her icy blade clashing with corrupted celestial magic, Hae-In fights not just for victory but for the fragile hope of a future unshattered by chaos. The cult leader falls, but the cost is heavy. The wounds, physical and spiritual, linger, underscoring the relentless nature of war and the thin line between light and dark. The chapter closes with Cha Hae-In emerging stronger but wary, her path toward the cosmic storm clearer and more perilous than ever. Chapter 6. The Frozen Alliance. The echoes of the skirmish with the starbound Dawn cult lingered in the chilling air of the frozen citadel. With the cult's threat temporarily suppressed but their deeper machinations still veiled, Cha Hae-In understood that the fragile peace demanded more than brute strength. It demanded unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. As the winter sun cast fragile light across the citadel's ice-sculpted towers, the monarch summoned an unprecedented council. For the first time, representatives from the Frost, Verdant, Ember, and Shadow realms convened under one banner in the Great Hall, their diverse auras mingling and clashing like the elements themselves. Tension hung thick in the atmosphere. Old rivalries crept beneath exchanged pleasantries, and divergent ambitions threatened to shatter the delicate accord before it had taken root. Lady Sariel of the Verdant realm spoke first, her voice smooth yet firm. Nature adapts, Monarch Hae-In. So must we. To face the cosmic tides, we require not mere alliances, but synergy, a melding of our strengths. Monarch Alaric of Ember scoffed, flames flickering threateningly around his form. Synergy is impossible where ambition corrupts. The only certainty is conquest. Those who stand divided shall fall. At the heart of the hall stood Cha Hae-In, her icy mantle shimmering with quiet authority. Strength alone cannot save us, she began, voice steady as the glaciers themselves. We are on the brink of cosmic ruin, our realms intertwined more deeply than ever. We have no choice but to forge an alliance, one born not of convenience, but necessity. Sung Jin Woo stepped forward, his shadowy presence a testament to balance in a fractured world. I offer the support of the shadows, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Together, we can weave a network of vigilance and power that spans realms. The council debated long into the night, diplomats exchanging words as much as weapons. Knowledge was shared about cosmic disturbances, gate anomalies, and the emergence of new foes, entities neither wholly monster nor monarch, but something far more insidious. Finally, an accord was reached, a pact blending the frost's resilience, ember's passion, verdant's wisdom, and shadow's cunning. It was fragile but hopeful, a beacon against the encroaching darkness. Yet even as hands clasped across the chamber, whispered plots churned beneath the gleaming ice floors. Not all monarchs shared the desire for peace, some planned to seize the chaos for their ends. As dusk settled over the citadel and its newly forged alliance, Cha Hae-In stood watchful, her gaze piercing the swirling snow. The Frost Monarch knew the coming days would test not only her power but the strength of every bond she had forged. Chapter 6. The Frozen Alliance. The frozen walls of the citadel shimmered in the pale light filtering through towering ice pillars, casting fractured reflections across the vast great hall where the most critical gathering in recent history prepared to unfold. Responses to the starbound Dawn cult's threat had galvanized the realms, but these fears and shared dangers brought forth more than just shared pain. They revealed old divisions, simmering rivalries, and competing visions for the future. Cha Hae-In, the Frost Monarch and the newly crowned symbol of hope and power, knew the path ahead was fraught with perilous politics in addition to war. She paced the crystalline dais, clad in her frost-clad ceremonial armor, feeling the weight of every monarch's gaze settle on her as she prepared to speak. The hall was filled with representatives from the four dominant monarch realms, all formidable and ancient in their right. Lady Sariel of the Verdant Realm, a noble figure surrounded by living vines and soft glowing flora, watched with a mixture of hope and caution. Her realm was a sanctuary of life, growth, and hidden wisdom, deep-rooted in nature's endless cycles. Monarch Alaric of Ember leaned against a flaming obelisk, his aura crackling with aggressive heat. His realm was volcanic, a kingdom forged in fire and conflict, favoring strength and dominance over peace and diplomacy. Joining in was Queen Thalira of the Obsidian Spires, her dark presence veiled in shadows that whispered secrets only the night could keep. She represented the Shadow Realms, creatures born of mystery and subterfuge, and even now her icy eyes hinted at ambitions far beyond the summoned peace. Sung Jinwoo also stood, a shadow monarch known for his cold pragmatism and unyielding loyalty to order. His presence was a critical anchor in the chaotic mix. An air thick with anticipation settled. Cha Hae-In lifted her head, addressing the assembly with a voice that rang clear and resonant, like a winter bell over frozen lakes. We stand at the crossroads of destiny. The cosmic tides threaten all our realms, fraying the very fabric that binds our world and many others. Alone, we are vulnerable, but together, we can weave a mantle strong enough to resist the coming storm. Lady Sariel's voice, calm yet unwavering, joined. The Verdant Realm believes that growth comes from connection, from harmonizing with the forces around us. We must extend these connections to all willing to stand against oblivion. Alaric countered sharply, flames flickering in his eyes. Idealism wins no battles. Power wins battles. Those who do not take control will be crushed underfoot. A chorus of murmurs rose among the delegates. Jinwoo stepped forward, his voice quiet but resolute. The shadows move not for conquest but for balance. We seek allies prepared to face the abyss, not slaves to fear or ambition. The dialogue grew intense, heated debates about the nature of leadership, trust, and the future course the monarchs should steer. Into the night, the council negotiated, each faction making concessions though wary of hidden agendas. Envoys exchanged knowledge of cosmic tides, gate instabilities, weakened celestial barriers, and the movements of monstrous and monarch foes alike. Outside, the city trembled under the weight of mounting threats, gates pulsed with erratic mana, and citizens watched warriors prepare for a war unlike any before. Finally, a pact was forged, a fragile but necessary alliance blending the elemental forces of frost, flame, nature's embrace, and shadow's secrecy. It established joint command, shared defenses, and the commitment to oppose the cosmic tide as one. Yet beneath the polished veneer of diplomacy, whispering intrigues festered. Old grudges were slow to die. Some monarchs saw opportunity in chaos, others plotted in hidden chambers to bend the alliance for darker ends. The alliance was a beacon, yes, but one flickering against the encroaching storm. As dusk painted the sky in veils of blue and purple, Cha Hae-In stood on the highest tower, staring across the horizon where swirling snow met shadow-darkened forests. The future was uncertain, but her resolve burned brighter than ever beneath the crown of frost. Every choice, every alliance, every battle would determine whether their world survived or shattered beneath the cosmic tide's relentless surge. Chapter 7. The Siege of the Cosmic Veil. The alliance held its breath. Beyond the shattered gates, across realms and dimensions fraying at their edges, the cosmic storm had gathered tempestuous force. The ever-widening fractures in the mana lattice seeped monstrous energy, warping creatures and landscapes into twisted forms of nightmare. Under the silver gleam of a blood moon sky, the joint forces of Frost, Ember, Verdant, and Shadow realms prepared for their first united assault. Tens of thousands marched beneath banners carried high and flames wreathed with frost, shadows dancing like spirits along frozen forest edges. Cha Hae-In stood at the head of the vanguard, a beacon amid swirling icy mists that flowed from her very footsteps. Her breath was steady, eyes cold like glacier depths but burning with fierce determination. Beside her, Sung Jin-woo's shadows twisted and shimmered like living smoke, ready to strike from the darkness with unerring precision. Lady Sariel's verdant magic summoned tangled thorns and vines that writhed to trap and ensnare foes, while Monarch Alaric ignited the earth beneath their feet, fiery tendrils carving paths through the monstrous ranks. The enemy was a terrifying amalgam of cosmic horrors, chaos beasts clawing with twisted limbs, star-spawned horrors whose eyes burned with void flame, and corrupted monarch remnants whose power had been fractured into madness. The battlefield itself was a shifting maelstrom. Fire met frost in blazing clashes, shadows intertwined with flickering leaves in guerrilla maneuvers, and raw cosmic energy lashed out like storms of pure destruction. The ground cracked, shattering into swirling whirlpools of magic and chaos. Cha Hae-In's voice rang above the tumult, commanding frost pillars to spring from the earth, creating walls of razor ice that protected advancing hunters. She called down a blizzard, drenching foes in sheets of ice that shattered their defenses. Jin-woo's shadow soldiers became phantoms striking from behind enemy lines, severing command chains and crippling monstrous reinforcements. Meanwhile, Lady Sariel's nature magic wove through ranks, wrapping foes in thorny prisons and healing wounded allies with verdant nectar. The fight was brutal, unyielding. Heroes on all sides fell and rose, driven by desperation and hope intertwined. Cha Hae-In found herself locked in a deadly duel against a corrupted monarch whose monstrous form pulsed with chaotic cosmic energies. Their fight was one of elemental fury, icy winds crashing against chaotic storms, the sound of clashing forces echoing across the battlefield in a symphony of war. Sweat mixed with frost on her brow as she invoked ancestral power born of the frost crown, shattering the corrupted foe's attack with a shattering icy spiral that ripped through space itself. The tide began to turn. Yet as the sun rose crimson and blood touched over the horizon, the cost was clear. Entire battalions lay broken, the landscape forever scarred, and the cosmic storm continued to pulse, threatening new and darker forces yet unseen. The siege of the cosmic veil was a brutal testament to unity and sacrifice, but the war's end was far from near. Amid the battlefield's aftermath, Cha Hae-In and her allies gathered, their breaths heavy with weariness but spirits burning unbroken. The frost monarch's icy gaze lifted to the heavens, promising, "We rise together, or we fall apart." The next battle awaits. Chapter 8. Aftermath and Ambitions. The battlefield was quiet, but the silence was heavy with grief and anticipation. Corpses lay strewn across shattered ice and scorched earth, remnants of powerful monarchs and hunters who gave everything to hold back the cosmic tide. Within the frozen citadel, the mood was somber yet charged with determination. Cha Hae-In moved through the halls, visiting wounded warriors and overseeing plans to rebuild shattered defenses. The scars of battle ran deep, both on the land and in the hearts of those who survived. The council reconvened to assess the costs of the siege of the Cosmic Veil and to strategize for what lay ahead. Monarchs from allied realms exchanged reports and debated approaches, each voice a thread weaving the fragile tapestry of their alliance. Lady Sariel revealed disturbing news of corrupted wildlife spreading in the Verdant realm, a blight born from cosmic corruption that threatened the balance of nature. Monarch Alaric pressed for aggressive retaliation against rebel factions exploiting the chaos. Meanwhile, Queen Thalira's shadow spies uncovered whispers of dark monarch cabals gathering power in concealed realms. Amid the political maneuvering, Cha Hae-In took time to reflect with Sung Jin-woo on personal losses and the burdens of command. Their conversation was a stark contrast, hope balanced with the harsh realities of war. "I fear the darkness is growing too vast," Jin-woo admitted, voice low. "But I trust your resolve." She responded, "We fight not for glory but for those who cannot. Our strength is their shield and hope." The chapter also highlighted other characters' personal journeys. Park Ji-hoon recovering with newfound determination, Alara uncovering ancient prophecies within relics retrieved from cosmic realms, and younger hunters inspired but fearing the escalating stakes. The council sent new expeditions and diplomats beyond known gates to seek allies and uncover hidden threats. Cha Hae-In dispatched envoys to realms untouched by war, hoping to forge bonds that could tip the scales. Yet in dark corners, secret ambitions festered. Rogue monarchs and cosmic entities plotted to unravel the alliance, seeing opportunity in chaos. The chapter closed as Cha Hae-In stood atop the highest tower, gazing at the swirling sky where the distant cosmic tides churned relentlessly. Her voice echoed in cold determination, "This alliance is our light. We must guard it, or all is lost." Chapter 9. Shadows of Rebellion. The fragile peace forged by the Frozen Alliance was tested not only by the growing cosmic storms but by unrest simmering within. The war had strained resources and loyalties alike, and whispers of rebellion began to rise among disgruntled hunters and dissatisfied factions within the Monarch realms. In the verdant outskirts of the Frost Monarch's domain, pockets of unrest brewed. Hunter squads reported increased attacks, not from monsters, but ambushes, sabotage, and subterfuge orchestrated by shadowy groups claiming to fight for freedom from monarch rule. Cha Hae-In's advisors presented troubling reports. A faction calling itself the Reclaimers sought to dismantle monarch authority, viewing the collaboration as tyranny. Their leader, a charismatic yet ruthless ex-hunter named Kaden, was rallying support and wielding a dangerous mixture of forbidden magic and guerrilla tactics. Despite her exhaustion from recent battles, the Frost Monarch summoned her council urgently. "We face enemies who threaten us not with brute force alone, but with erosion from within. We must uncover the roots of rebellion before it spreads uncontrollably." A covert operation was launched, led by Park Ji-hoon and Alara, infiltrating Reclaimer strongholds to gather intelligence on Kaden and his growing movement. Their investigation revealed a complex network of disillusioned hunters, rogue monarch sympathizers, and dark magic wielders who exploited cosmic chaos to fuel dissent. Simultaneously, Queen Thalira's movements became more mysterious, her shadow agents rumored to be negotiating with the Reclaimers, promising aid in exchange for future influence. Amid political intrigue and conspiracies, Cha Hae-In balanced harsh decisions, choosing between diplomacy, enforcement, and the tenuous hope of reconciliation. The chapter turned sharply to conflict when Reclaimer forces ambushed a border fortress, overwhelming defenders with arcane traps and delusions crafted from corrupted cosmic energies. The siege stretched resources thin and called for a swift, coordinated response. Cha Hae-In, Jin Woo, and their allies led a counter-offensive to reclaim the fortress. The battle was brutal, a showcase of tactics, elemental power, and sheer will. Frost met fire, shadows wove through enemy lines, and nature's wrath manifested as thorny maelstroms. Cha-In himself appeared on the battlefield, his raw power and fierce rhetoric inspiring his followers and challenging the monarch's claim. Chaos erupted into a duel between Cha-In and Cha Hae-In. Their clash was both physical and ideological, ice and forbidden magic colliding, words cutting as deeply as blades. Cha-In accused her of tyranny and ignorance. She stood firm, invoking the vital need for unity in darkness. The duel ended ambiguously, with Cha-In retreating but vowing to return stronger, leaving the alliance both victorious and wary. The chapter closed with Cha Hae-In reflecting on threats within and beyond, her resolve steeling for the battles yet to come. Chapter 10. The Cosmic Reckoning. The chilling wind swept across the citadel's ramparts as the moment of reckoning approached. The delicate balance held by alliances and the relentless vigilance of hunters was stretched thin, shadowed by cosmic forces growing ever more hostile and unpredictable. Cha Hae-In stood at the heart of the frozen citadel's war room, the ancient frost crown glowing on her brow as the maps displayed an expanding web of cosmic disturbances. Each flare of energy, each spike in monster activity, was a thread in a tapestry weaving toward a confrontation that would decide the fate of worlds. Reports came from every front, gates bursting open with monstrous armies, celestial anomalies warping skies and lands, and monarchs from distant realms rallying their own forces, some uncertain, others driven by dark ambition. In the council, Lady Sariel's verdant magic wove protective wards, while Monarch Alaric's fiery temper flared in arguments over strategy. Queen Thalira's shadows whispered secrets and warnings from hidden spies, foreshadowing betrayals and ancient rivalries rekindled. At Cha Hae-In's side, Sung Jinwoo prepared his shadow forces, ready to strike at the cosmic puppeteers manipulating the monsters and monarchs alike. The Frost Monarch's voice rang with unwavering resolve. Our world stands on the brink. The cosmic storm gathers, but we will not falter. We fight for every life, every realm, and for the balance that holds us all. The chapter unfolds across soaring battlefields that spanned skies and shattered dimensions. Massive armies clashed in chaotic symphonies of elemental fury, frost met fire, shadow danced with light, and cosmic energy surged like tempests. Cha Hae-In led assaults against corrupted monarchs wielding broken celestial powers, their madness a mirror to the chaos-consuming realms. Her frost magic carved safe paths through war-torn lands, Jinwoo's shadows dismantled enemy schemes, allies from allied realms fought with sacred determination. Amid the fierce conflict, personal moments shone. Cha Hae-In shared quiet exchanges with Jinwoo, hope amid despair, strength amid sacrifice. The climax of the chapter revealed the true source of the cosmic storms, an ancient cosmic entity awakening beneath the fabric of space and time, a relentless force threatening to unmake reality itself. The battle was far from over, the cosmic reckoning had begun, and the Frost Monarch's legend was only just being scribed. With Part 2 coming to a thrilling close, the cosmic tides have risen and the cosmic war has begun, a battle for the fate of all realms, fraught with sacrifice, betrayal, and unbreakable unity. Cha Hae-In, the Frost Monarch, has faced immense trials, from fractured alliances and rebellions to epic battles with ancient cosmic forces threatening to unravel reality itself. As the shadows lengthen and the final reckoning approaches, the story stands on the brink of an even greater storm. Thank you for journeying this far into What If Cha Hae-In Awakened as a Monarch First. Your comments and thoughts mean the world, please share them below. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned as we prepare to dive